2001. Out of that reparation committee, they had drafted a document that what they seek reparation for is to repay IMF debt as first, and then to rebuild all government institutions, and then Rastas to church and state, regardless someone to burn the church aspect, but we are church and state, because the church is what validates the integrity of the government ministers, so that they know not to lie or thief, because the Niyahbingi Fire will definitely burn you if you betray the people integrity, So, 61, so His Majesty said, send the right people. The right people is not Jamaica government. Jamaica government works under the Queen. He was talking the sovereign approach of the Maroons.
Greetings, honorable family. This is a public announcement. Consuming Fire, brand new EP out now by IjahStars, featuring artists like Empress Matiposa out of the VI Virgin Island. This EP consists of 7 tracks, songs like Life, No Dignity, 360 Degrees, Plea My Cause. This EP is out on all digital download platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, and much more. 360 Degree is blazing. Temperature so high, we are steam and blaze with Charlie Sana, Haile Selassie I. Out now, Consuming Fire. Check it out.
No call me no dark, trust me, fool. You know have to rate this.
Out of that reparation committee, they had drafted a document that what they seek reparation for is to repay IMF debt as first, and then to rebuild all government institutions, and then Rastas to seek out repatriation. So that kind of creates a flaw, And we as Rasta, we didn't want to support that, you see. But other entities of the Rasta, even partially at time, the Millennium Council, at the time when I was basically put aside, then they get involved even and went now to St. St. Vincent, and get Brother Gonzalez on board, as Rastas pushing now reparations, right? So the government in St. Kitts jump on it, St. Vincent jump on it, and it was brought to Jamaica and to support Mike Henry, who was always talking about reparation as a politician. So with Rasta now fully behind it, they accept it in Parliament, you see. I was there the day when Babsy Grange presented the fact that the government is going to support reparations, and they're supporting it for the reason that it is going to pay off IMF debt and it's going to build government institution. So then after we see now where the England is offering reparation money to the university in Jamaica to rebuild. So this is where now the media, through Sister Kabu, would say, oh, that's not. So I'm saying, Mama Kabu, is the Rastas who set it like that. They support that, But now they see that we've been tricked, because reparations is being used by the government, and at first they were trying to utilize this. So they create CARICOM after a while, then you see, and then they were trying to do it without the AU. So we had to let the African people know that when it comes to reparation, it must be dealt with by the black man government. And the only structured black man government on sovereign land is in Africa. You see, if you see China people in America, their government is in China. So all black people in the West, their government is in Africa. So you cannot approach anything to do with Africa and the diaspora as it mean reparation without Africa leading that process. So that's where we just reaching now, where the AU is being engaged with the CARICOM. That's why we're also trying to engage this government to see how we can represent our clause through the AU with CARICOM.
Rastafari. Yes, I. And do I see the summit as a genuine step towards reparation and repatriation are more symbolic than substantial?
Yeah, well, I think from observation and from what is going on, you can see that it's basically been captured away from the grassroots people of it, you know. So what we find now is organization, you know, who is leading the process, and their idea is to utilize these reparation initiative through these different organizations, which Niyahbingi is not a part of any of those organizations. This is why you would see CARICOM in Shashamane, and it is not the Niyahbingi or the races who are representing in the CARICOM from the Rastafari perspective as it relates to the land grant and the Church of the Niyahbingi in Shashamane. So these organizations, they've placed themselves to deal with reparation through CARICOM in some private entity, whether it's through cultural exchange, student exchange, and all kind of different little exchange, but not to approach reparation, because reparation means to repair the damage. What is the damage that was done? The first damage was done to Africa, because her human resources, not even her human resources, but in the 1800s when they met in Berlin, they literally impose on Africa colonial borders and colonial rule, you see? And that's where they stripped our sovereign rights of our kings, you see, to rule and govern their people and the land and what is in the land. You see, these are responsible, the kings are responsible for that. So to repair the damage, we're asking that the kings and the traditional leaders be given forward their rights to repair the damage that was done as reparation, in reparation. Now, the second thing, apart from the king, is that the human resources that was stolen from Africa to go and build the Western empires, they must given a chance to be returned to Africa to build their own continent. That is the second thing to repair the damage, and that is repatriation. Now, this is what we want known to the AU so that we can make this representation as the sixth region in the seat of the sixth region, because we still have to identify the seat of the sixth region, which should be represented by an official governor from the sixth region, which is the sovereign entity of the Maroons. You see?
Rastafari. Yes, my lord. So can How can I and I now as Rastafari strategically position ourselves within these continental dialogues to ensure our voice, zine, and vision are heard?
Yeah, that's why I says 3, 4 days ago, we finally met with the government of Azania through the deputy office. And that is one of our requests, that we can align ourselves on that diplomatic level. And we're trying to position ourselves also with the development of Burkina Faso and the unity between Niger and Mali and all the other countries that are coming together to structure the sovereign rights and to have a powerful say in how the AU go about our affairs, even as Rasta. So that is what we're trying to position ourselves to engage with these recent developments coming out of Burkina Faso, apart from the AU.
And what is the I view and Ibrahim Traore stance in Burkina Faso? Does it echo the spirit of Marcus Garvey and the Niyahbingi resistance?
Yeah, it echoes it so much that what we had said for reparation, to return the authority of the kings. Because if our kings are stripped of their dignity, what can we the people have as dignity if our kings are not, restored properly? So we see that Abraham is in line, because we have also seen where the 7 traditional leaders, King's Council, has met with Abraham and gave him the blessings and authority to proceed on behalf of the kings to restore that sovereign rights of the kings, not only in Burkina Faso and those places, but everywhere where the kings govern. And so that process is still on, because we know Ethiopia is a sovereign kingdom from that time, which has played a major role in even the Swaziland kingdom, which is still a remaining active, one of the only kingdom that is sovereign. So from that position, we need to structure the United Kingdoms of Africa as the sovereign authority of the continent that is in charge, you see? Yes, sir.
So can Rastafari...
So Abraham...
Go on, my lord. Go through.
Yes, sir?
No, man.
Yeah, so Abraham Traore is in line, because our open document to the government, even what we presented the other day, was in line with those same things, which is reparations, to restore the kingdom authority, to return the children. And these things are going to be very practical soon. And what we was also seeking is reparations for the Rasta community in Azania for the atrocities that these Rastas in Azania been going through over this ganja, where even recently the community, Rastas from our community, are being murdered, literally murdered over the ganja. You see? So securing it as a sacrament, I told them, will also prevent this, because the permit is not going to prevent the police from harassing the common Rastas on the street, who can say, any Rasta from you says you're adhere to the Rastafari faith, then police must leave you with your ganja, you see? Yeah. So we see where the reparations that we were seeking for the Rasta community is here, and the cannabis is not a handout of money, but for these government to give the Rasta community in Azania equal shared benefit, even in the commercial, never mind give us our sacrament without blemish, you see, as part of that reparation that we're seeking from the government in Azania. Well, these matters still need to come clear because there is still struggling going on against I and I. You know, you always have internal struggle where others have other agenda that they want to bring under the Rasta and then put our agenda on the sideline, you see. So we're not going to allow that. And Ibrahim Traore is not going to allow that.
So my have two more questions for the Eye Majesty Zane. So how can Rasta benefit or build an alliance from the wave of Pan-African sovereignty movement rising across West Africa right now?
Yeah, well, I have a delegation going to Burkina because we need to visit there to probably even see if there's any churchical races there, so we can have a little gathering, you know, apart from the government, because we are church and state, regardless someone to burn the church aspect, you see, but we are church and state, because the church is what validates the integrity of the government ministers, you see, so that they know not to lie or thief, because the Niyahbingi Fire will definitely burn you if you betray the people integrity, you see. So we having a delegation even going to Nigeria early in another week or so, and one going to Burkina Faso. Now, INI is not pushing for the Burkina Faso mission at this time because that trip is going to take place during the coronation, because they'll be back actually on the 8th of November. And the situation on the ground in Azania, it wouldn't permit or it wouldn't be wise for I not to address our situation here before even attempt to address Burkina Faso.
Rastafari. And what role does the Niyahbingi presidential order plays in guiding Rastafari governance, and how is it involving this new millennium?
The Rastafari what?
What role does
Did you say
what role does
president?
being a presidential or president play in, you know,
Okay, that is a long story because, yeah, when we talk about the Indigenous president that was working, that was implemented by the Niyahbingi to really oversee the whole repatriation agenda, you know, that has not worked out because as the Indigenous president, even in Jamaica, authorized by the four indigenous sector, the Maroons, the Revivalists, the Kumina, and Rasta. You see, with those four entities empowering Miguel Collins, Sizzla Kalonji to represent the indigenous rights in Jamaica. This is where now everything got let down because as the indigenous president, the government parliament is supposed to report to the indigenous president so that the indigenous president can guide the parliament. Just like how in Africa here, the traditional people is who are supposed to guide the parliament, you see, if we don't have our own monarchy parliament. So we're still waiting to hear what the presidential aspect of the Niyahbingi is saying or doing towards this fullness. Because we did um, engage him with Mugabe with a letter that Mugabe would spearhead the repatriation and the whole sovereign movement, and that didn't work out. So we're still waiting to have a dialogue with the President Abraham, because we get to find out also that he is the president of the Sovereign United Kingdom Federation in the continent, which represented by the 7 councils. One is from Ethiopia, one is even from Africa here. But they did meet and empower him. And we also, from the 6th region, the Maroon sovereignty, we did engage the United Kingdom here in Azania, where he is also the chairman of the Diaspora Bank and also the president of the United Kingdom in Africa here. So we're still to be updated how he is going to coincide with the president in Burkina, but he's really the sovereign head of the 6th region through the Maroon system, you see? Yeah. Because a lot of ones, they ask, they don't understand when the delegation went to His Majesty 61, so His Majesty said, send the right people. The right people is not Jamaica government. Jamaica government works under the Queen. He was talking the sovereign approach of the Maroons so that he could coordinate on a government to government, you know, with the Maroons. But the Maroons were so sensitive of these matters. But since we've engaged them, just like how we've engaged the kings here as well, to make them aware of their rights and how we can assist them to secure their rights. I hope that give a little understanding of the presidential role of the Niyahbingi.
Yes, I. Final question to the eye. I think this one is going to be a little bit touchy, my lord. It's something that I see circulating on the social media, I think probably about 2 days ago, and it's very heavy on the Facebook. Zane, I don't know where else, but I see it circulating on the Facebook where a brethren is either charged or being accused from the Niyahbingi house in South Africa of raping either a 9-year-old girl. I don't know if there is aware of it, but it's something that I see heavily circulating on the social media by ones and ones in South Africa.
Yeah, that is very touchy because I've seen the ad and it really shakes my heart because it's an elder that I know.
Smash that subscribe button. See you on the next video. I just start the mindset.